Okay, there we go. Had to hit the mute button. Very, very difficult to unmute, I guess. So, this is episode 44 of the OverLimit podcast. Obviously, I'm Otto. With me is my friend Spoon. Spoon, how are you today?
Hey. Yep, I'm doing all right. I don't know. It's been a weird week. I'm like tired even though I haven't done anything this week, and I don't know. It's been a weird week.
It's an off week. That's what it is. Everybody gets one. Everybody gets that off week once in a while. Um, but we're here. We're gonna do game news as usual, and honestly, I don't think there's much to really discuss for afterwards. I don't really want to talk about New World or anything like that much because it's been about 2 days after release. The only thing that I will mention about the game is in the game news section for the most part. So that's been my week. Is that in school? So okay, let's do a quick introduction and then we can go through some of the news. The news we're starting with today, Spoon, is Twitch stuff. Two Twitch things, good and then bad. So we'll go through both of those. Also, I have here some stuff regarding New World, but we'll save that for last. And the Genshin anniversary board decision making for Mihoyo. And then they're, I don't want to say backtracking, but they tried to recoup it. So
Mhm.
I'll explain that. I'm not sure how familiar you are with what happened, but I'll go ahead and explain that as well when we get there. So the introduction for today is tomorrow. There's going to be several videos going up. The D&D episode from a few weeks ago is going to go up. Last week's podcast and today's podcast will go up at the same time, and there'll be some tail stuff that I'll be working on this weekend and hoping to get up Saturday or Sunday. It should be pretty quick. I've got everything all set up on my computer. I just have to actually put it in the editor and have the editor spit out the video. So please go check out the YouTube. I know this week, the beginning of this week wasn't much, um, but we will have stuff this weekend. Go check them out, and always, as always, check out the Discord. Stop by, follow the streams, and all that jazz. So, Spoon, anything I left out?
No, I don't think so. Like I said, it's been kind of a weird week, kind of a slow week too. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, I am with you. The news this week has been slow up until about today. There was a couple things that dropped today that you shared and that I
Yeah.
was seeing. Um,
There were a few other things that maybe I'll just. There were like a couple of Pokemon trailers earlier this week for. There was one for Diamond Pearl and there was one for Arceus, but I don't think there's too much to talk about with those, so I
okay,
don't know. Mention it.
okay. If there was anything new in those, you could mention that. But
They showed
honestly,
like a
oh, go
new.
ahead.
Yeah, they just showed like this. I think it's a new like form or evolution for Scizor. It's like Rock Bug, and it's one of like the looks like a boss of some sort in Arceus, which looks interesting. But
Okay,
I don't think there was much else other than that.
okay.
And then there was a trailer for Shin Megami Tensei 5 that they've been announcing like the some of the voice cast for the English dub on Twitter. But again, that's more of a mention than something to actually talk about.
Sure. I'm with you there. I appreciate you bringing that up. We'll also talk about upcoming game releases again. There's a couple that are coming up that we'll touch on, but not for long. Let's start with Twitter though, and Twitch, excuse me. But the stuff involving Twitch happens to be on Twitter. So let's go over there, and hopefully it's capturing the correct. It's not. How exciting! It captured the
Hmm.
complete incorrect thing. Thanks. Okay, so um, okay, so a couple things for Twitch happened this week. Here's Twitch Good. This is good Twitch. So today or not today, I guess 2 days ago, or a day ago, but in the tweet they say, today we're putting more power in the hands of the community by enabling phone verified chat. Now creators and mods can require viewers to verify their account via phone number before they can chat. For more information, you go to their blog. Here's the blog. So I can just actually check this right now on our stream, and I don't know where it is, so we're gonna do this together. So this will be available to all creators starting the game. Can be accessed from your creator dashboard. So somewhere in the dashboard, you can add in this verification system, and I'm trying to find it. Do you actually know where it is, Spoon, on here?
I haven't looked for it yet. It looked like it was from the screenshots I saw of it, it was more in the setting, like the
Settings
setting
moderation. So if you go to
thing.
settings and moderation, there's a chat verification now. So this chat verification, obviously you guys can't see my screen. So let me just go ahead and turn it here because there's nothing sensitive here. So here's the verification screen, and we'll go ahead and zoom in for you. So you can see how our overall verification, our overall safety is like in the red because we don't have that set up at all. But you can set up where all chatters must have a verified email. Some chatters must have a verified email. Depends. You can set these up where it's first time chatters. Chatters without a verified email must have an account of a certain age. Chatters without a verified email must have followed for more than a certain number of days. And then there's a phone verification for the mobile folks in particular. Um, so although the tooltips are completely backwards, you have to same deal. You got to have a verified phone number and all that, and then verification exemptions. So this is the people that will be exempt to verifications. You can set that up if you would like. Subscribers, VIPs, and moderators can get that turned off. So this is the minimum recommendation. I don't know what the minimum recommendation is. I could click it. So the minimum recommendation is that all chatters must have a verified email, and some chatters need to have a verified phone number for accounts older than 1 week. That is the minimum that they have set up. And I just turned that on. So I would say, like, I don't know how much effect that's going to have for really us at all, but I don't know how you feel about this change, but I think it's good.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a step in the right direction. I don't know if it's perfect, and I assume the phone number thing just requires you to have like two-factor enabled on your account. I
I think
assume
so,
that's
yeah.
what that means. Um,
Yeah.
um, so yeah, I mean, this is definitely a step in the right direction. Yeah, I mean, I think this is good. It's been months of us talking about this, and obviously, like these kind of changes, they do take time to be able to implement, so you can't expect like an overnight response from Twitch. But I
Right.
think it's taken a little longer than people would have liked.
Right.
Um, but glad to see these things. You know, this, but like in the end, this is more of like it's not a fix. It's not a full fix, I don't think, because this is just like more hurdles for the people who make these bots to go over.
Right.
If they want to get over them, I'm sure they'll find a way to get over them,
Right. I mean,
right?
I
Like
agree with you. They're gonna, but at the same time, like if you make it, the more annoying you make it, the less incentive.
less yeah, exactly, less
So
likely they're gonna do
yeah,
it. So
but yeah, I agree also that yeah, people are still gonna do it if they want to go through the hurdles. But it's just them being like, okay, do you really want to go through this many hurdles to do a hate rate? And I don't know. Maybe they won't anymore. But I don't know. I mean, at that we already discussed this, and it's already like a really crazy person has to do it. Maybe they're crazy enough to go through all the hurdles as well. Who knows? But I personally think overall it's a good step. It's the right step to make. It said this feature has been many months in the making, but our work is not done. We're actively building additional solutions for this stuff. Blah blah blah. So again, I think it's a good thing, and I think we both agree on that. But now we have to go to the Twitch bad. Okay, we have to go to bad Twitch. I have an odd take on this. So you posted this, which is Twitch is going to be doing a test with a small group of streamers to make Boost this stream a paid feature. Um, there are other social media platforms that do this. Instagram does this. Um, Facebook, obviously, you can do Facebook ads. Dating apps do this all the time, but that's like a different concept where you boost to get your dating profile um, more views. So Twitch is going to be doing a test on this, and here's the screenshot of it. So here's this. I don't know. I don't know what I would actually prefer. They just show the whole thing here as opposed to having the person. Um, maybe there's another screenshot I can find, but boost the stream T minus 6. I don't know how long the boost lasts. Recommends person stream to new viewers to help grow their community. Uh, current boost size, and then there's all these different things, and it's 1,000, 3,000 recommendations. So let's just go with impressions. So you get 1,000 additional impression recommendations and 3,000 yada yada yada. Conceivably, this price will go down as like a higher value, but it's $1 for 1,000 impressions. Okay, that's what I see it as. It's $1 for 1,000, and the recommendations are already there on Twitch. By the way, um, if you go in Twitch right now on the main page and you just look down on the left side where under the follow channels, there are recommended channels, and you can show more and blah blah. I will just tell you, all my recommended channels are huge streamers. I have
Yep.
two that are under 1,000. So that's like I honestly I think that's like a weird. It's already weird with recommendations there. So that is the information that we have. I want to see if we get a different one, but yeah, it looks like that was the only screenshot for this. Okay, Spoon, I want your take first. How do you feel about viewers, not the streamer, viewers paying Twitch to boost a content creator's stream? And I'm just going to safely assume that none of the money goes to the streamer.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is ass. I'm gonna be honest. I hate this. I hate it completely. Yeah, I'm gonna assume that none of the money goes to the streamer. This
Mm.
is like pay Twitch to boost your stream. The stream boosting thing is something that can be done through like, is it the hype train or I forget. Like I've seen streams get boosted before, but it's not something. Actually, maybe it's not even hype train.
It's not. Hype Train is like if you get a
No,
bunch of subs in a
it
row.
was through channel points. It was like through spending channel points on. So you could spend channel points to. So it was like a non-paid thing. It was free, basically. If you got enough people to like put channel points into it,
There
you could
was at
boost.
some
You
point?
could boost. I saw it on like Nintendo stream before, as an example.
Okay, I am actually going to look this up and see if there is a channel point for it. Keep going though, please. I'm looking it up right
Um,
now though.
and like this is for me this is anti small streamer. It's like, oh, you have more viewers in your channel, then you have more chances for people to like keep paying to like recommend your channel. But also, I would much rather the viewer use their money to just donate to me or sub to me than to freaking put impressions up on people. Like this is just this is a cash grab to me, and this is horrible. I hate it. I
Yeah.
hate it completely. Um,
It might
I
be
also saw.
a partner thing because I can't find it online. But keep going.
Yeah, I mean, Nintendo's a partner, so I
Yeah.
assume it's at least a partner thing for the stream boosting. Um, so yeah, I mean, I did also see another thing to like today a lot around the same time that I saw this that I guess they're I don't know if there's gonna be more ads, but they're like, hey, we're adding audio ads, and they're like it's part of the regular ad reel, but it sounded like maybe it would play randomly also. I'm not exactly sure. I
What?
didn't understand it.
An
Yeah, I don't
audio
know.
ad?
Yeah,
What does that mean? Like
I, I,
obviously,
I don't know. I'll
what's
see
the
if I
difference
can
between a
find.
current
I'll
ad than audio ad? Are they going
It's
to
like
advertise that we
just au
talk? Like I don't know.
it's just audio instead of video, I assume. Um,
Oh,
Let me see if I can find the tweet that
that
had
is
that. I
okay.
might be able to.
I do not want to imagine how the audio ad fits into the stream there. Um, okay, you find that. You find that real quick, and I'll give my thoughts. I actually don't think the thought process of this is wrong. Um, I don't think the thought process of this is wrong, as in giving someone the power to get more recommendations. I know it's not apples to apples, but Instagram does it, dating sites do it, and I don't think it's bad there. Um, for dating sites, it's like one of the ways that they monetize. Fine. I mean, it's not. I don't even think it's that toxic to monetize that way. For Instagram, it just pushes out your posts to more people. Again, I really don't think it's that toxic in that case. If and I think there was somebody in a comment thread on one of these tweets that was like, "Yeah, I've done that for Instagram. It's worked for me." They did say though, to be fair, that they didn't think this was the best way to do it. I don't think having viewers pay for it is the right thing. I think having viewers pay for this is silly. I think it snowballs in the
Yeah,
direction of
exactly.
partners,
Yeah,
and
partners and like more viewers you have, more chances you have somebody's gonna like
right, it's this
put
skews
money
it
into
to bigger
this.
streamers, so it actually doesn't do what it's supposed to do, which is this is supposed to be a feature for small streamers,
Yeah, it's supposed to be a discoverability feature, and it's kind of the
and
opposite
it's
of that.
not. It makes it worse because you know that a partnered streamer, even a stream of 1,000 people, like the probability of getting somebody to push that button in 1,000 person stream compared to a 10 person stream, like I don't even need the data to support that. I think that's going to happen. Like the 1,000 person stream is going to get more opportunities, obviously. So it's like this is skewed to partners, and it's like it's not good that it's viewer purchasable. Actually, if this was a streamer purchase thing, I'd be okay with it. I'd be
Yeah,
more okay with it.
maybe.
If it was like, okay,
Mm,
streamer, if you want to pay $5 for 5,000 recommendations, cool. I don't actually mind that at all.
yeah,
Because then it's a streamer. The streamer's investing in themselves. I'm okay with that.
yeah.
I
No,
really am.
I'd be much more okay with that as well.
But this looks skewed to partners, and it's a snowball feature, and I think that this is bad for that. Do I think the concept is bad? No. I think if you give the streamer the power to spend $5 to do 5,000 recommendations, they might do it. They might do it.
Yeah,
And it wouldn't make Twitch as much money as if they gave orders, but it would still be something that the streamer could use and try and get more discoverability. I have one more comment, and that is if there was a feature for this where if you subscribe to the person, you get a free boost.
yeah,
Then I would start to, but again, it's still skewed to partners. But I would be like more intrigued if it was like, okay, if you subscribe to the channel, you get a boost and you can boost their stream. Like that would be something there. But just looking
yeah.
at
No,
this one,
I
it's
mean
like
that would be more incentive to sub, which actually benefits the streamer.
I
I know, like obviously Twitch takes
there's
50-50 cut, but
there's one more thing I want to point out. In this thing, this boost is a drop down menu. That's a drop down menu. It's got this arrow up. It looks like
hmm
it implies it's a drop down menu. There might be more than one recommendation. There might be more than one option. I don't know if that's true, obviously, but this little arrow thing, it doesn't necessarily imply like, oh, you're gonna boost the stream up. This implies like there's a drop down potential. Because if you go into this like into Twitch's dashboard, that same thing is present, and it's the same arrow that shows a drop down. Or maybe this is the drop down down here that's already been shown. I don't know. It's like I'm trying to figure out like why this arrow thing is here, and maybe it's because it was only this at first, and then this section got dropped down. I'm not sure. I'm just trying to speculate and see. Okay, is it really only a boost, or is there one more than one option? Um, I I also think it would be good if there was a caveat of if your stream is already over 500 people or 1,000 people, you can't get your stream boosted anymore. That
yeah.
would also
There's
be
like a cutoff somewhere. It's like, okay, your stream's big
I
enough.
don't
You don't need
know.
to be
It's a
freaking boosted.
compromise. It's not
Like,
a solution, but it's a compromise. Um, I think I'm with you though. I don't like the feature the way it's built right now, but there was somewhere where there was potential, and I'm sure somebody walked in and said, "Yeah, but if the streamer buys it, it's less money for it." So
yeah. I DM'd you the other thing that I saw, by
okay.
the way.
Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to do this super
Oh yeah.
fast.
Sorry,
Already did it. Nope,
I
it's
forgot
too
about
late.
that.
I was fast. Um, Twitch heard us once again that we're all tired of the amount they take from our subs and bits. Now introducing more ads. Oh god. Uh, audio ads are now available for all Twitch partners and affiliates. You know that's we probably got an email for that if this person got it. Uh, I wonder if we got an email because to help you earn more with fewer stream disruptions. Audio volume matching, no wild volume swings between your levels in an ad. So does the stream go mute and then the ad hits?
I don't know. Again, this is all that I saw, so I don't really know what the details are on this.
Click here to let us know what you need. I'm trying to find if I okay. I mean, it's they yeah, good for Twitch. They get more potential ad space.
Yeah,
I don't necessarily think it's better for viewers, as they say. Like, we need to help with fewer stream disruptions. Yeah, I'm
have more
sure like
ads.
muting the stream and having Taco Bell come on asking me to buy their nacho box so I can get diarrhea is is not disruptive. I'm sure it isn't. In streams, particularly in just chatting, can you imagine a just chatting stream? The person's just sitting there in their hot tub, and all of a sudden, they're like, you literally get an ad from fucking Home Depot. Like it's like, what do you mean non-disruptive? Um, it's not what it's definitely not what they say it is. The reason they're doing it is because it's again, it's more potential ad space.
Yeah, more ads is never good for viewers.
Yeah,
Like,
it's not.
let's be honest.
I don't know why they even tried to frame this as like, no, 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 it's great, less disruption. It's like, what are you talking about?
It's ads.
It's ads. It's an
Ads are
advertisement.
inherently disruption.
Exactly. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Um, uh, it's Twitch. Twitch does one thing good and then two things bad, and you're like, well, it's Twitch. They take one step
Yep.
forward and then take two steps back immediately. What are you
Yep.
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna
Like,
do?
well, we're doing a little bit about the hate raids. Have a couple more things that you're gonna
Here's
hate. All right,
we've
thanks.
we're helping hate raids. Here, have this. It's like, fuck, really? Like, you had to like you had to fuck it up. Come on.
I mean, Amazon's there in the back, and they're like, "So, I heard you're working on a feature that's helping people, and something that people are asking for that's not making us money.
Right.
Why don't you slide in some more features to make some more money?"
So no, it's 100% that it's 100%. What happened was couple of people came together and they said, "Oh, we should help with discoverability. It's a huge issue." And I said, "Yeah, yeah, yeah." So they got together and they like pitched this to some executive who's wiping his ass with money, and he said,
Mhm.
"Hold on a second, discoverability. Can we monetize it? Like, I guess we could. We could try like making the streamer. No, 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 no. We have more viewers than streamers. Let's monetize them." And some person with half a brain cell said, "Now hold on, isn't that going to snowball for partners? That kind of defeats the purpose of discoverability, doesn't it?" And unfortunately,
The
though,
executive said, "Exactly."
he blew his nose into a $100 bill and said, "Yeah, exactly. What's the problem?" So
Discoverability for the most popular streamers, great.
it's
They make us the most money.
they do. So it's like, okay, yeah, sure, why not? It's great for partners. I think the actually all these features are great for partners. Audio ads are great for partners. More ads, more money. Um, Boosts are great for partners. You don't have to spend a cent, and your fans will do it for you. Like it's literally free advertising. Actually, like that is amazing to me. I'm sure most partners are like, cool, free advertising. Thanks. I just like I if I was a partner, I'd be like, cool, cool, thanks. I just got free advertising from my fans. Thank you. I'd be happy. It's a
I
great
mean, yeah,
feature for you.
but at the same time, is like them spending $5 on a boost like better than them just giving you $5?
At that point, it would depend. But for me,
Yeah, I
like
mean, yeah, it depends how many people actually like come. Like, yeah, if they spend $5 on a boost and that gets you like two more subs, then okay, that's like an equal
then
payout
yeah,
basically.
that's almost
So
that's equal value. So you're like, okay, yeah, that's great. Um, I mean, obviously, like the streamer's going to look at the data more than anyone. But like, if
yeah,
I
I mean,
sent
yeah,
out a
I
thousand recommendations and I got and it's $1 for 1,000. If somebody sent out 1,000 recommendations for $1, I spent no money for that. And while they didn't give me their dollar, maybe of those 1,000 people, if I saw the data and said, hey, for every 1,000 people that get recommended, 5 of them spend $1, I just made $4. So
Yeah, I mean, I hope
I don't
that
know.
if this feature, when this feature goes into place, that there are analytics on that say like, hey, when your stream gets boosted, this amount, whatever, you get this many viewers, like on average you get this many viewers and this many followers and this many subs.
Right.
Like
I
we need to have that data to see, like,
Right.
is it worth it to boost, or would I rather my people just
Just
donate
give
me
me
the
money.
money?
Yeah, just give me
Like,
money. I think for a partner, if their stream is already big, like if they're already in the top 0.001%, they're not going to care about the recommendations. They're already getting recommended out the wazoo.
yeah,
But I think if you're a stream of like 10 people, I actually would argue that you would
yeah, it might
want
be worth it
somebody to
to do
spend
it.
$5 to do the recommendations as opposed to giving
Because
you
yeah, like
$5.
yeah, a thousand recommendations or 5,000, whatever it is, $5 is
Right.
like,
So
for a
there,
small streamer, that
yeah.
seems like, for our channel, like that might be worth it. TBH, like,
For our channel, it would be. But I still think that if it's open to partners, like it still snowballs in their favor, so it ends up not being a good feature. But like, yeah, I
so
think for like a 5 to 10 person stream, yeah, tell your friend, hey, look, like don't sub to me, I'm an affiliate. Don't sub to me instead. Just get me a boost instead. You know what? I wish you could do a Prime transfer a Prime to a boost. That would be another cool thing. They're like, hey, like, would you rather sub for free or boost for free? That would be a cool feature to
yeah,
like if they're going to
all the
integrate it this way, find
is
ways to make it more friendly. Is what I would
is this
do.
feature? I guess we don't know. It'll probably go on partners first. Would this feature even
Yes.
be available to affiliates?
I
The
if
boost
it's
thing.
if it's not available to affiliates
Yeah, that'd
rather
be kind of a
quickly,
that'd be
it
kind of a joke.
it defeats the purpose of the whole thing. I feel like the
Yeah.
affiliates are the first ones should get it, frankly. But I know partners will get it first always.
But
But
like, yeah, if you're not affiliate, you're not gonna get this feature because you
right,
don't get any monetization on
right,
non-affiliate
right. So
channels.
it's. But I think this should roll out to partners and affiliates first immediately, and it should be both immediately. If you roll it out to partners first, it literally defeats the purpose of the whole damn thing.
Yeah.
It really does. Um. Anyway, yeah, there's some cool stuff they could do with it. I doubt they'll do it though, and
Oh yeah,
I have a hard time
like
believing
mo
this will be hugely beneficial.
like most Twitch features, they'll roll it out in some sort of half-ass state, and there's like a bunch of things that people say like, "Hey, you could do this, 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 or this," and they're just like, "Nope, we already moved on to the next thing." They roll out the feature and then they just leave it
They just
where
sort
it
of leave it
is.
there.
Like,
They
yeah,
just sort of leave it there, which is actually what happened with. Frankly, it's like there was a point where it's kind of what they did with bits. So like, here's bits. Are you gonna do anything with it? No. Oh,
nope.
okay.
Here's bits. We're not worrying about it anymore. Just
We're done.
do it. Whatever. Who
We're
cares?
done now. It's like, okay, well, you can do some cool things. Nope, we're done. Channel points is the same way. Channel points, they rolled it out. There's actually a lot of cool things that could be done, and
Nope.
they did add some other things like polls and things like that that were good.
Yeah.
It's just so funny. Okay, let's see here. What do we got now? So these are the okay. Um, I have Genshin anniversary stuff to discuss.
Hmm.
I will not spend too much time on it. So let me just give the short version for those that don't know what happened. MiHoYo is celebrating the 1 year anniversary of Genshin Impact. Probably, some could argue, the most lucrative mobile game on the market. Possibly the most lucrative game of the year. Yeah. Go ahead, fall asleep, everybody. Okay. And MiHoYo decided, okay, our initial rewards are going to be here's 40 Primo Gems. 40 Primo Gems.
40. I thought it was 100.
I thought it was 40. Some people were talking about 40.
Oh,
It
well,
doesn't
okay, maybe it was.
matter.
I don't know. I didn't pay that much
It's
attention. It was very little.
it's less than a wish. It's less than a wish. You can't make a single pull with the initial anniversary rewards. It was hysterical. And I was laughing. I was like, okay, really, MiHoYo? Of course you're doing that shit.
Yeah,
Of
they
course.
give like 300 primos every time they do maintenance. Like when they do maintenance for the new
Thank
patch,
you.
every 6 weeks they give 300 free primos
Thank
for the
you.
for the,
It's
for the
like
maintenance.
it's
Like,
fucking insane. I'm just like, are you serious? You gave
yeah, one wish is
far less.
160.
You gave
One wish is 160.
far less than maintenance. Like, what are you doing? Like, honestly, I would have. I almost was like, MiHoYo. Honestly, I just rather you do maintenance so I can get 300 Primo gems. Um.
Yeah.
So obviously, the this enraged the gotcha fans because other gotcha games anniversaries like do massive rewards. There's like massive rewards for all sorts of stuff. There were, and everybody, of course, was talking about they're like, oh no, in this game there's like hundreds of polls you can do, blah blah blah, and you can do this, and MiHoYo is being so stingy with our money, blah blah blah. We make them, we pay for their game, and they don't give us anything back for the 1 year anniversary. And to some degree, I am with them. It's a 1 year anniversary for what was maybe one of the most lucrative games of the full year, and like either no debate on that, like billions of dollars. And they're like, okay, here's 40 primo. It's like, okay, well, like you are a multi-billion-dollar company now because of this game. I think you can afford to give them a 10 pull. I think you can.
Imagine them giving a free 10 pull.
For an anniversary, like you can do it. You could give them a free 10 pull.
1,600, yeah.
Which it's a lot. It is a lot, but it's also a 1 year anniversary. Like this is a big deal. Really big deal in the context of a game. 1 year anniversary for a gacha game. It's a big deal. Other gacha games do these, nice rewards. Genshin did it. So the fans review bombed the game on Android and iOS to the point where on iOS and Android, it was actually under 2 stars.
Wow.
It got review bombed so hard it went under 2 stars, and it did so on Google too. Like I think if I do Genshin Impact on Google, it was legit at 2 stars. It's at 3.1 now, but it was at 2 stars. It got all the way down there because people started review bombing it with 1-star reviews. They were like, "Hey, the anniversary is garbage. Like what the fuck?" So it's just like they almost like the game almost got completely crushed. For any new person seeing it, like, why is this game of 2 stars now? So MiHoYo went back into the lab and they said, okay, well, we clearly pissed off our fans. Let's give them better rewards. So they're now giving 400 primo gems, which is the equivalent of 2 pulls.
2.5.
2.5, yeah, which is still ass.
Still ass,
yeah. And a set of wings that you can put on your character. It's worth noting this set of wings was going to be a paid feature. They were going to put paid features in for the anniversary, and they decided to backtrack on it. They also added more anniversary rewards. If you actually do all the stuff with the anniversary, you get it. Yeah. Sorry, an event. You're right. You get a 10 pull from the event. So there's something. It's just like, oh my god, the Genshin fandom on Twitter exploded, and it was somewhat hysterical seeing all these people crying this much.
Don't worry, they'll all piss their pants and spend thousands of dollars when the next big waifu comes out.
You bet your ass they're going to do that. You bet. You kidding me? Of course they are. So yeah, it's just like it was just hysterical. Like all the people, Genshin fans on Twitter, were like, Dragalia lost. Is it? It's like, guys, like obviously their crying did have an effect, but I was like, holy crap, guys!
Maybe you should respect your wallets a little bit more and not just like wail all day.
Yeah, it was bad. So it was bad. I wanted to say that MiHoYo almost really fucked the duck there, but they somehow they recovered. Now they just need to have the next 5-star character be a waifu, and everything will be fine again.
And be busted garbage.
Oh yeah, because Kokomi, the newest.
Oh yeah, I was hearing. I heard she's trash. I heard she's garbage.
Like people were pissed off about that too. Like MiHoYo, she's absolutely awful. Apparently she's the worst 5-star character in the game now.
Don't worry, well, maybe they won't. But like, man, when people complain about Big Dong Zhang, man, did they buff him real quick?
Yeah,
they buffed the shit out of him real quick.
I think Kokomi will get a buff because they have to buff the 5 stars. They're not going to buff a 4-star, but they have to buff a 5-star.
Amber will forever be in the dumpster as a free character.
Yeah,
she's
always going to suck. Lisa, Kaya, Amber, they're all going to suck. And the main character, of course, is always going to suck.
I think I saw that the Electro version of the main character is actually like not horrible.
Oh, that's good. That's good. That should be the case. So it's like, okay, look, if people played this game that much, like, come on, give them some justifiable, decent character. Like, for the MC too. Like the MC just MC's just bad. So yeah, Mihoyo almost fucked it up here. So good thing they actually gave rewards as opposed
I mean,
to
again, I
being
think
stupid.
even if they hadn't have like backpedaled on this and given more rewards, the Genshin fandom would have forgotten. And like again, the next banner comes out with their new waifu, they're just gonna wail on it
Oh yeah,
again.
everybody's gonna wail on it. Of course they are.
Look, I as a game, I like Genshin Impact. I have not been playing it very much lately because Tales
Yeah, sure.
and other things, but like I think it's a good game. I think they put far more effort into it than most mobile games do, and I respect it for that. I still think their prices are absolutely absurd.
True.
Um, but yeah, I mean, I'm not actually sure where I was going with that, but they, you know, they make a ton of money. People wail on it. I think they deserve somewhat the success that they got for again putting some more effort into this game and making this you know a better game than most like gotcha games are.
Right.
Like more to the mechanics. There's actually like a story. Um, Again, I'm no big gotcha player. I don't really know what the market looks like. I know there are plenty of people that like a number of the gotcha games that are out there, but this one feels like it had some of the most effort put into it. So I think they deserve their success in some ways, but I again I still think their prices are just
There
astronomical. Again, I know like
it is.
they're no more expensive than any other gotcha game. It's just the
Right.
going rate for gotcha games, so I think it's ridiculous either way.
Right. They, I mean, like it looks like a fully fledged, like completely built video game,
Yep.
even though like the story obviously isn't finished. Um, but like there's a huge world to explore. There is constant daily quests. There are events every so many weeks that you can, and they you get rewards for them. The only caveat being you don't get all the content. You have to actually acquire it through all these. So there's
Yep.
obviously like there's give and take, but this like we played Tales of Christoria. Well, Tales of Christoria had a story, and it was it was enjoyable. Like it's very
Yep.
clear that Genshin Impact
Yeah.
has more to it. Like there's a
The game
lot
the,
more to the game.
the gameplay in Tales of Crestoria though, like while it was like fun for what it was. Like you, once you get your team set up, you just click the auto button and the game plays itself,
Right,
right?
which is how
So
gotcha games work. That's
yeah,
how it works. So I don't know. Like yeah, I think Genshin. I think Mihoyo should be nicer with their free rewards in this case. But Mihoyo's never been really nice about their free rewards.
yeah.
So
I mean,
other than server maintenance, that's the only time they're really nice. Server maintenance is like the nicest they usually are. But
yeah,
like even with certain events, they're just like some events. I'm just like, okay, well these rewards for this event kind of suck. So like, why would I do it?
like yeah. Why would I spend the time grinding this event
I'm not
because
gonna
the
grind the
rewards
event
are
because the rewards
garbage?
suck. They just suck. So it's so funny because like some of the rewards are like here's some EXP books. You know how many EXP books I have right now? The
Like
purple ones,
a billion of them.
over
Like
2,500.
oh
You
wow,
think I'm worried about books at this point, Mihoyo? You think I care about your books? I have thousands now of those things. I can't spend them in
yeah.
time. It's
And you and you
insane.
and and you've leveled up a bunch of like you leveled
Yes.
up more characters than I have.
Oh
You were
yes.
like
I have a ton. I still am trying to
yeah.
level up Ayaka. I have the Shogun now to level up. Like fuck, dude.
I mean yeah, it just takes so long to like
The
get
Ascensions.
enough.
I hate Ascensions. So
Well,
stupid.
yeah, the ascensions, like grinding the ascension materials, but then it just takes so long to like build up enough primos to actually
Right.
like get enough pulls to get a character that you actually want,
Right.
right?
Yeah. Like it
And
was.
then
Yeah.
that you're gonna level up. So
I haven't even tried to get Kokomi because she just is bad. I was like, no,
yeah, she's not worth it.
she's just
Save your
bad.
gems. Like she's cute, but like
She's
she's a healer. Like she's basically Barbara, but like worse. Apparently, I'm just like
which is
okay, great.
sad. I
Be like
am
Barbara's not
desperate.
that good.
I am desperate for another Hydro character besides Barbara and the swordsman guy, but I don't really use him. But he is very good.
Tartaglia.
Not
Yeah.
Tartaglia. The
Oh, Xingqiu or
something like
whatever.
that. He is really good, but I just don't like. I am desperate for certain things like Geo. I'm desperate for Geo. I just
Yeah, I have
You know,
no Geo characters. I have
uh,
Noelle, but I don't use her. So
Albedo. I don't have Albedo. Don't have Big Dong Jong.
Zhongli, yeah.
Which is tragic. Both of those would be great. So, but anyway, that's different conversation. Different Genshin's a different conversation. I have too much of the rewards. I am desperate for primos. That's what I'm desperate for.
Yeah. It's like, give me some Primo so I can get some
Give
new
me a couple.
characters.
Just give me a couple. So okay, let's move on from Genshin. Genshin's like a weird beast. Okay, I'm going to talk about New World because New World is currently the most played game on Steam right now, concurrently speaking. So New World launched on Tuesday. I will admit I did not think New World would be as popular as it is.
I I just want to I just want to comment real fast. When we were talking about this a couple weeks ago when Tales of Rise came out, and we're like, man, Tales of Rise, the highest played current players for like a Tales game on Steam, it was like 60K, 65K, like
Ooh,
10x less, more than 10x less than this fucking
right.
game.
It's
Like,
it's
man,
crazy,
sucks.
dude.
It sucks to be a JRPG developer. Like, I love JRPGs, but goddamn, it sucks to be a
They
JRPG. But you could pour your heart and soul into these characters, these stories, these gameplay systems. And I'm not saying New Worlds
sure,
is a
sure,
bad game,
sure.
but like Amazon can come out. I mean, it's Amazon, so they have Twitch, they had the ad money, but Amazon could come out with this like very like to me it looks like a very middle of the road, nothing special MMO, and they
Hmm.
get these numbers. It's kind of just like sad for me,
So
but that's
part
just
of
my
part of
commentary.
it is MMO people, and it's MMO people
Yeah,
are
it's true.
desperate for
Yeah.
MMOs.
Yeah, you're right. People hate
That's part of
WoW,
it,
right? Like WoW is dying and people hate it
right?
right now. They want
People
something new.
people are
Yeah.
leaving WoW. There's two aspects to this I want to talk about, and I won't spend too much time on it because this isn't a New World. Um,
I mean, we don't have much to talk about, so we can spend as much
True,
time as you
it's
want
true,
on it.
but I don't want to spend. I don't want to talk about it because I'm still figuring things out in the game. But I have discovered this. There's a reason why people really like New World. There is a subset of folks that's in this in between of MMO and survival. And I can tell you this because I am part of this really big guild now. And this guild is in our server is it's actually huge. It is the largest guild for the faction in our server, I think, because they've bought a couple. They're going to buy multiple territories. Again, for those of you that don't understand what I'm talking about, I'll try and elaborate. Um, it's like it's a lot of companies. Like for MMOs, like you get like a group in your MMO. I don't know how big like WoW companies are, but because I don't have like the context for it. But this company has like normally only been one company. They told me their leader told us, and now they're like actually having trouble figuring out how much they're trying to consolidate, but they've gotten so many people interested that it's been overwhelming for them, I guess. But he was telling us in this call because we were trying to get into it, and he said, "Yeah, we were really excited for New World. Our groups were because we were desperate for a survival game with PvP that wasn't like toxic to the point of if we go to sleep, we're just gonna lose our little town we built."
Yeah.
So they're like, there are the MMO folks that want to grind in MMO, and then there's the survival folks over here that want to play PvP, that want to play coordinated PvP where there's constant attacks and war.
So like
Um,
Eve Online. It's like Eve Online.
mhm. So, and they're like, and even if we go to sleep, we are not in trouble of losing our territory because wars are they're put together in an organized fashion. You like have to get so much influence, then you declare war, then there's a specific war time, but you can't lose the territory before it. And then in war, if the attacker ends up winning, which I haven't really done a war yet, I want to. It's interesting. But if the attacker wins, then they take the territory and everything in it. So for the PvP folks over here that are also survival fans, they are in love with this. They're super in love with it.
Yeah, some of these like meta systems with the territory control, and I hear like if you control a territory, you control like taxation, and like these
Mm-hmm.
some of these meta systems actually seem like really well thought out and cool in this game. Like I think that's the thing that they focused on the most in this
Right.
game, from what I've heard,
Right.
and I think that's, as you're saying, what people are most excited for. And the thing part about this game that seems really cool. Some of the other parts around it seem pretty basic
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
kind of whatever, but
Don't worry, I'll get to that. There's some parts of this game that definitely are very. Some people may not like it. There are no classes in this game. Just to be clear, there is no single class. Your weapons define how you play. I will say that. That being said, certain weapons, that, like if I pick a sword, that doesn't guarantee that I am a tank. It doesn't guarantee that I'm a DPS. I have to like figure out the build for it. Right now, I'm doing a rapier and bow DPS build, and you can do a good amount of DPS with it. You can. Like it's not the best, but I think it's like it can. So yeah. So concurrently speaking, New World is the highest concurrent players for Steam right now. If you look right now, it's New World. And my sense is by after the weekend, will probably go down a decent amount. That is what everybody is talking about. They're like, okay, the queue times currently depends on when you jump on. Let's say you jump on at a busy time. Busy time would be like right now, actually, maybe 2 hours ago.
Yeah.
So when I was doing the store 2 days ago, I was in a 4 hour queue to get in to
Yep.
play. I don't know what it is today. I think Vis tried to jump into the queue. He jumped in, and I never saw him actually play the game. And I had played for like 2 hours. I saw him jump in and never saw him in the world. So I have no idea how long the queue is right now. But everybody's speculating that by weekend it'll go down. But I think this game will its concurrence will go down considerably. But I'm not so sure it's going to go down as much as like it's going to be a dead game. This thing might actually
Not.
fluctuate.
Yeah.
Definitely, I don't think it's like Destiny levels are like it's gonna constantly get like 80k concurrently unless it's an expansion or something.
It'll be interesting to see where this game is at in a month or two.
Yeah,
Like
that's
to
what
see
I'm
if it
thinking.
still has like a decent like following. There's still a good number of people playing it, or if it's like dead. Like I won't say dead, but like not very many people
I
playing
mean,
it.
dead MMOs,
It's,
yeah,
it's gonna go. It's gonna go down.
yeah,
Like you're not gonna get 600,000-700,000,
right.
every day or whatever.
They
But
this game also is going to need constant content. This game is going to need constant content to really stay. If it really needs it, like I think desperately, because right now I haven't really. We did a dungeon yesterday. The dungeon wasn't horrible. It was there were no puzzles or anything. It was just like you just kill some enemies and then there's a boss. We did it with 4 people. It was fine. Like it wasn't awesome and like a great experience, but it was fine. Like it was cool. Like we got good loot. We had fun. It took us like an hour to finish, but it was fun. And the quests have been it's just a lot of running. The crafting has been cool, like us coordinating together, trying to figure out who's going to craft what, you know, who's focused on which kind of skills to so we can put it all together. Like that part's been cool. The coordination's been cool. Um, haven't done PvP yet. Still working through the story. Finally started me personally expanding out and doing quests in different areas. I I think this game will be there'll be enough of a grind, and I think if you're a fan of PvP, being like a survival type player and want to do some PvP, I think you're gonna like playing this consistently. I think those folks will really like it because I mean, I don't like see it's like you're always in a tug of war for territories. So it's just going to be a matter of which faction loses the most people to losing interest in the game to see where the tug of war happens. There are 3 factions. I will comment quickly. One of the factions does not matter. One of the factions, the Covenant, they suck. They suck. I don't know I don't know what their numbers are or who is like coordinating them. They suck. There are like there have been in the realm that we're in, there have been 11 territories taken. Would you like to guess how many Yellow took, which is the Covenant? Go ahead and give a guess.
I'm gonna say 0.
They took 1. They got 1. It took everybody else, the Syndicate and the Marauders, the other 2 factions. The other 2 factions took 6 territories before they got 1. And it was like, and everybody was just like laughing at them. They're like, "Wow, good job, you finally did it." Lol. So, and they're kind of the meme faction. Like nobody likes them. Nobody really
That's just
likes it.
your server though, right? I assume there's maybe another server where they're actually good, or maybe
Streamer
not, or
servers, I
maybe
think they are because streamers are coordinating their factions. But I think Covenant were never the popular faction. Even in beta, they were not the popular faction. The popular faction was
is it red
Marauder.
blue is it red blue yellow
It's
or
red, purple, yellow. No, I'm sorry.
purple
It's
yellow
green, purple, yellow. Not green, purple,
green
yellow.
purple yellow?
Yeah, Marauders are green, Syndicate's purple, yellow is Covenant. And again, nobody likes Covenant. I just like that's just how it is. Um, and I will say the game is it's obviously it's grinding, but the dynamic combat feels fun. That is what I'm gonna say. The dynamic combat feels really fun. You're not just like you don't just like click and sit there and then hit a few
Yeah.
keys on your
You
keyboard to
don't
like
just
do your
like auto
spells.
attack the enemy and then click one button and wait for your one button to cool down and then click
Right.
your one button again. Like
You are kind of like trying to position. You're trying to. You obviously have your skills that you use. Like it's a bit more active where like with some MMOs you're only really like doing you stand there and you automatically auto attack, or you stand there, all your skills are on cooldown, you just sort of sit there and then you do your stuff. Like it's a little more dynamic. Not to say that other MMOs aren't, but it's a little more dynamic this game. Music's been good so far. I like the music in the game. It's very soothing and relaxing. It's like Skyrim music, where it's nice ambiance. Nothing epic. This isn't like a JRPG, know, orchestra
yeah,
that's going
no.
off. But it's like it's relaxing music for an exploration game. It works well.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't need your
Right.
banger
It doesn't
JRPG
need it.
tunes.
It doesn't
Like
need a
you don't
fucking
need that.
JRPG banger, which obviously like in a dungeon I'd like that, but I mean like when I'm just like running around cutting down trees, I don't need like it's like
Yeah.
okay, it's like I'm cutting down
We
a
don't need that.
tree, like
Like
I'm hitting a boulder, like so the game I like it. I know Hectic likes it. He's been playing it a lot. The group that we have currently is Hectic, myself. We got Dog and This is the fourth. This ended up being he peer pressured himself into playing. That's what I'm going to say. He
that,
peer pressured himself into playing. We didn't
that's
even
an
pressure him.
that's an oxy. Like peer pressure, like by definition, has to come from your
It
peers. How
and
do
it
you peer
but the
pressure
thing is, here's
himself?
the thing: there are multiple sides of him internally that are pressuring each other. Like we should everybody else is playing. I should play it. No, I'm not going to play it because I'm just going to stop playing. He's like internally. There's internal conflict, and eventually he broke because we were just like we see him and he's in New World, and we're just like we didn't pressure him to play it all. We were always like, yeah, it's cool, Vis. You don't have to play. We're just hanging out. And then he was like, yeah, so I bought it. Like, okay, we didn't like make you buy it. So it's really fun. I enjoy it. I think like it's fun to play with a group. Obviously, playing by yourself would really suck. Um, but like playing
Yeah.
with Hectic Dog and Vis has been really. We're like coordinating together. This is our healer.
Hmm.
Before I was kind of a tanky player, but I decided to switch things up. Respecking and switching things up, by the way, is really seamless at the beginning of the game, which is nice. Like that's also something I like is like if I picked a tank class level 1, I would only be doing that, but I'm level 20 something and I'm constantly like respecking and figure out what I want to do. And
Yeah.
it's really nice.
That's nice. I mean, again, it's been a long time since I played an MMO, but it generally, from when I played, can be painful to
It can
respec in an
yeah,
MMO. It's like you kind of have to pick your path and then
right.
stick with it.
In this you don't. I've changed my weapons and I don't feel like I'm that much weaker right now in PvP. In PvP, I really can't tell you. But in PvE, like I was using a musket ranged weapon before. I switched to a bow, and I deal probably more damage now because the way that your stats are set up is like if you've got a stat of weapon that scales off of dexterity, for example, like a bow and a rapier scale off dexterity the most. So, but the musket does too. So I can just swap between the musket and bow, and I'm actually not losing much damage besides what weapon I'm using for stats. So it's been cool. Like, and you get free respecs. And to respec your actual stats, it costs 80 gold. just to put that in perspective, I have 3,500 gold.
Yeah,
I could
okay.
respec so many times. So it's
Negligible. That's a negligible cost.
right. So it's super nice to just like be flexible and not feel like, oh well, I'm a tank, I can never change. Like I switched off of a tankier build, and I even switched my armor. I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna be more of a DPS now. So
Yeah.
like I was like, yeah, okay,
Hey,
I'll just respec my stats, I'll respec my armor, like my weapon. I got this really good weapon, so I want to start doing DPS with that. Like it's been great. It's it has been like really fun to have flexibility. That is what I'm going to say. It's been really fun to like do multiple things and experiment without being punished for it. Like I haven't been punished for experimenting right. So that is what I'm going to say is the most positive thing for this game for me. Is I have not been punished for fucking around, which sometimes happens. Like there have been some games where I fucked around and I got punished for it, probably deservedly
yeah.
so.
You
But
don't have to be super hardcore
right,
sweaty like MMO player to
right.
enjoy this game, right? Like,
I would say that yes. So I think that if you like
yeah,
MMOs, depending on which MMOs you're playing before, I think if you kind of like survival games, you kind of like MMO games, you might like this one. That being said, I would play it right now because the queue times are fucking terrible. So there are people that are not buying it right now. They're waiting like a week or two and then buying it,
yeah,
which I think is the right thing to do. But like to put it in perspective, before I stop talking about New World that much, I woke up at 4:30 in the morning on Tuesday just to play with Hectic and Vince, or Hectic and Dog. And the queue time then was 30 minutes, and that was great. The queue time, like when the game actually released, was great. Well, once we waited, it was a 4-hour queue, and
yeah.
it's
I'm gonna
been
say,
about
okay,
two
it's seven,
hours.
like 7:30 in the morning Eastern time, 4:30 Pacific. It's like, okay, I think, okay, the game's out, but are gamers up at that hour? No, and if not,
No,
like some of them are going to bed, like they're going to work or
right.
whatever. So
So we got in
hit prime
quickly.
time though, hit evening that day in the
Oh,
yeah,
that's when
then
everybody's
it's
home,
that.
so they're trying to get in. Um, so that's it's. I will say I am happy though that the game is performing well. I do think there's a lot of cool systems that have been thought out with respecking, with like having the ability to the crafting systems. I think were pretty well thought out. The territory tug of war with PvP is it seems like really well thought out. That might have been like the first idea of the game because it's like implemented really nicely. Weaknesses of the game are that I think the biggest weaknesses of the game are I hate to put it this way, but like I think it is too much running. I think it's a little bit too much running for certain quests. Certain quests are like you have to open chests, and sometimes the chests are not easy to find. And then we discovered that a well counts as a chest. So it took us a while
Okay.
to figure that out, and that was like there's some awkwardness to some of those quests. It definitely feels like they just didn't want to spend any time to make it any more complex. It's just like open 5 chests, open 6 chests. Um, and then there's the ones where you have to hunt. The hunting ones aren't too bad, I would say, but like there are some stuff where I'm like, okay, like even some of the side quests are like the exact same as the random community board quests, and I'm like, okay, like come on, it's a side quest. It should be slightly different, right? Like it's like I got a side quest that was actually the exact same as the community quest. It was literally the exact same, and I knew that because I put them up next to each other, and it was the same goddamn description. It was like open
Yeah.
5 chests, get these 5 items. I was like, the fuck, this is a side quest. Why is it the same? It shouldn't be the same. So
Yeah.
some side quests kind of piss me off. They should have been different. Frankly, all of them should have been different. They're not. The community board quest should be simple on purpose, but the side quests should not. I've been disappointed with that. Um, I just like haven't really cared much for the story at all, for whatever that story is supposed to be. Um, I I really don't. I don't know if many people who are actually following the lore, but I have not. Uh, there's just like not been any lore for me that I've cared about. So maybe that's another thing that um I think maybe could have been touched up a bit more. The
Yeah.
lore of this game hasn't really. Like there's stuff you can look at. Like there are like things you can read, various different like books and scraps of paper, and like in the main story right now, all you're doing is trying to put together a staff to be able to open certain dungeons. But like beyond that, I just haven't like really gotten much interest beyond like, oh, there's some weird corruption going on in this place. You should figure that shit out. It just hasn't been
Yeah,
much more than that.
I was I watched a bit of what Drop Frames had to say about New World this
Mhm.
week, other than the queue times. I mean, like JP was saying that you know it's kind of echoing a lot of what you're saying. Like some of the it feels like this game was built with that like sort of meta PvP thing in mind. Like that was the concept of
Yes.
the game,
Yeah, it is.
and then they had to build everything else around it. And then at one point they're like, "Oh shit, we need to put PvE in this game." So the quests are just like really, really basic,
They're so
and it's
basic.
just kind of like the crafting system is good. The PvP is good, but like the PvE is kind of weak, or
It.
it's there, but
I
it's
agree. I agree.
kind of bleh. It feels like again the game was built around this PvP and the crafting system, and everything else is kind of tacked on there at the end. It's like okay,
Yeah,
like it's there.
I do agree so far. I obviously like we're everybody is still in early game. There's nobody that is in the end game. Not a single person is in end game right now. If they
Yeah,
are, they're cheating.
sure.
People are in mid game. They're starting to push mid game. I don't know what the level cap is in New World. I don't know if
Heard
it's like
60.
50, 60. Okay,
Heard
60 makes
60.
sense.
Yeah.
I haven't seen a single person above 35. So I think people are starting to get towards the mid game. I'm still in early game technically because I haven't pushed the main story enough. But people are starting to get into mid game. Mid game. Nobody is in end game yet. Um, any folks that are doing PvP, they're gonna be slow on PvE naturally because
Yeah.
they have to coordinate for PvP. They got to do other stuff for PvP. Like there's some other stuff they got to do. Um, Dog in our group is like level 33. He's the highest level. I'm almost 27. So this is like 20, and Hectic is 28 or 29. So I'm like almost at the bottom. But they've been able to play a bit. I have. I think they've got like an extra 6+ hours on something like that. So I think the game is overall structured well, but the PVE content, I will say if they do add more DLC, they need to like they need to really focus in PVE because PVE can be fun. I think it could be fun in this game, and like the dungeon showed that PVE could be interesting, but right now it seems like the PvP is really great, but the PVE is kind of needs some extra dedication. But hopefully, if the
Yeah.
game's popular enough, they'll get some extra people.
Yeah.
So that I think New Worlds, I think it's pretty good so far. We'll see what Endgame is like. Obviously, an MMO is going to be somewhat defined by its endgame, but so far it's been fun, and I think the experience has been enjoyable for our group. So that's all I think I want to say
Yeah.
about New World. But I am I am happy it's doing really well. Um, and I'm sure Amazon Studios is breathing a sigh of relief. Like, oh, thank God, it's doing well. Whew, thank
I
God.
mean, if it didn't, I'm sure they would have just shut the door. I mean,
I
they would have
yeah.
kept New World going for a while, but I think they would have shut down like Amazon Game Studios pretty much if it was
I think they just
not
definitely would
done
have
well.
stopped their projects, and they would have just closed after like okay, we're done here. So yeah. The only other thing I wanted to mention as a side topic, I added it to the doc, and now I just remembered it. Game Pass added Scarlet Nexus, and it added
Hmm.
AI Somnium File.
Yep, I saw that today.
So cool, two cool games that got added to Game Pass. Very happy about that. I'm really
Yeah,
happy that both those games. I
both
think, I,
well worth playing.
yeah, no. I mean, like for both those games, like to be on Game Pass, that's going to be awesome for anybody wanting to try that. Those will be two really nice Game Pass games. Um, Scarlet Nexus. Let's see, it's been out for what like a little bit over 3 months.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a good time to do it. It's a good time to do it on Game Pass. Um, this is a good opportunity. So yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Um, yeah, that was the game news for this particular week. Um, I don't really have any other stuff that I've been playing besides like the New World. I still like dabble in Diablo 2 Resurrected. I will be honest. When I was in the queue times for New World, I was playing Diablo. I
Hmm.
was like, okay. So um, I don't know like how Diablo 2 Resurrected's been. Um, Obviously, I can't give too much information on like the player counts or anything, but it's I'm sure I'm there are multiple server locations. Like there's going to be a US West and a US East. But I do see a lot of the same like open lobbies over and over again. I'm not sure how big that was for Diablo 2. Obviously, we're never going to see the player numbers cuz Activision did that, but I'm not sure. I don't know how people feel about it right now. I do know that I will say about the game that I think I do really like playing it, and I like that the graphics look fantastic for Ray Master. That's the only thing that I've been doing is also some Diablo 2, and then there's school. School is obviously everything else. Um, so yeah.
Yeah. Um, yeah. As for me, I beat Tails. I think on the podcast last week, I was in the final dungeon. I've completed the game now, and I completed all the post game as well. I got the last achievement.
Mm,
It was yesterday. No, I think it was 2 days ago. I think it was Tuesday.
sure.
So yeah, I did all the post game. I have all the achievements. My thoughts on the game have not changed since we talked
Right.
with Ghost last Thursday. I think the game is excellent. It has some issues in its story pacing
Mm,
and the villains. The post game content is pretty good. Like it's one of the achievements is getting to level 100, and it's really not that bad because if you
oh,
just like do the post game dungeon and all the side quests, you get most of it. I had to fight the final boss of the post game dungeon, like a few extra times in order to get level 100.
sure.
But other like you know that wasn't bad. That wasn't that bad, to be
Sure.
honest. Um, and yeah, most of the other stuff is like, okay, you gotta do all the fishing, you gotta complete all the side quests, you gotta complete the post game dungeon.
Hmm.
Yeah, grind to level 100. You have to synthesize most of the weapons,
Damn.
and a good number of accessories. But like honestly, as far as like plats go or all achievements, not bad at all. It took
Okay.
me maybe an additional 10 to 12, 13 hours after
That's
beating the
not
final
bad.
boss.
That's not
Yeah,
bad at all.
not bad at all for and most of it was like not most of it was not grinding. It was just getting through the quests and
Sure.
the post game dungeon is pretty expansive. There are as they like to do in Tales games, there are cameo fights in the post game dungeon. I won't spoil who they are, but there are three different characters in four different cameo fights, boss fights in the post game dungeon, which are
Okay.
pretty cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are they generally villain characters or like the good guys, or is it a
Um,
mixture?
do you mean in this game or like in general
General.
when they um I think it depends. They've done both. Like
Okay.
Vesperia, for example, the the cameo fight was actually they had a number. They had some that were villains that were in the arena, and then the one in the EX dungeon was Kratos from Tales of Symphonia,
Okay.
who was actually both a villain and a party member in that game. So that's kind of a weird
Yeah.
one. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
they take both. Sometimes they'll do party members. Sometimes they do villains.
Okay.
So yeah,
That's
the
cool.
cameo fights were cool. I like the post game dungeon. I mean, it's more of the same. It's just like more combat for the most part. But the combat in the game is really fun. So
Yeah.
um, Yeah, that's true. Some of the post game bosses and like the side quests, not the ones in the EX dungeon in particular. The cameo fights I thought were good.
Mm,
One of them actually, which was it was like a multi-target fight. It was like two of them. You fought like two of them individually, and then you fought them together. The
okay.
one with them together was fucking awful. Like holy shit.
Yeah, I
Like
mean, I could kind of imagine you put two of the big bosses together, and you're just like, okay. It's I
um
can imagine there's some added difficulty or frustration
yeah, and
depending on
then
what
there
the
were some
mechanics are.
Yeah, and then there were some other like the post game like side quest bosses that were
Right.
just they were just terrible. There was one that was just like spammed radial AoEs and it was like, are you playing a melee character? You're not having fun this fight. That's fucking
Oh
garbage.
God.
Like,
Yeah, those are great. Freaking anti melee combat is always my favorite. It's like, oh well, fuck me for having a sword, I guess. Should have
yeah.
brought a gun, I guess.
And then
Um,
there were a couple of other fights in the post game that were kind of like the second phase of the Balsef fight, where there was like this big thing attacking you
yeah,
in the background. So there were a couple others in the post game that were like that. That I don't really particularly like getting shot at from off screen when I'm trying to fight other things. So
yeah.
I'm not a huge fan of those. Um,
I mean, like conceptual, like cinematically, I'll say cinematically, it looks cool. But it's just like, okay, I just got hit by a giant ass rock because my back was turned to the big thing. Like, it can be a little bit frustrating. But like the actual cinematics of it are cool. So
strangely enough, Ghost the triple fight, which I think is the one. Again, we're not being very, but the triple one, I actually didn't have that much trouble with that one, as opposed to like when I fought that boss solo, I freaking hated it, and then there were like three of them, and it wasn't that bad. I don't know why. Like
huh.
maybe I was better at the fight. Maybe I was lucky in the AI wasn't dying as much, or maybe like I was just so over level. Like I wasn't over leveled though. I was just like leveled up and doing damage, and they just weren't as tanky. I'm not
Mm,
sure. Like yeah, they were slightly less aggressive too. I'm not sure. I didn't have as much trouble with that one as like the solo, but
sure.
whatever. Um, just depends. So yeah, there were some pretty annoying fights in the post game that like I won't say that I was a huge fan of, but
Right.
like for the most part, the post game was really fun. There were some epic fights, good cameo fights. So yeah, post game was good as well, and not like super grindy or overly like annoying. It was very easy to just like, okay, you beat the game, now just go do the post game. You didn't have to like grind 30 levels before you could play the post game. Like no, you just like hop into it, do the
Right.
side quests, do the EX dungeon. It's all good.
Yeah.
So yeah, because there's some JRPG post games where like, okay, you beat the main game, the final boss was level 60. Now the first post game boss is level 90. So why don't you go grind 30 levels before you can do the
Okay,
post
go ahead.
game? It's like,
Okay, go
all right,
grind. It's like, huh, really?
what's the highest level enemy I can grind them? Like level 65. All right, great. This is gonna take forever.
Yeah,
This sucks.
that
Like,
sucks. That's just like, okay, come on. Like, can you give me a break here? Like, give me some free
yeah,
levels. Give me
yeah,
some
and
free
and
levels.
also the EX dungeon wasn't super like some of the EX dungeons in past Tales games. Actually, most of them are just super gimmicky and awful.
Mm,
Like the one in Vesperia was my favorite, but the problem with those is you literally had to play the dungeon like 7 times to fight the final boss of the EX
nice,
dungeon. There
nice.
there were multiple paths to the dungeon, so like there were points where you do like different fights here and
Mm,
there, but there were only a certain number of paths. So like there were like 3 or 4 different paths. So eventually you've done them all and you found the one that was the fastest and slash the easiest, and you
right,
just do that one.
right.
So yeah. Um so yeah, this was not a gimmicky EX dungeon. It was like, yeah, more combat, cool fights.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
I
That's good.
appreciated that.
Yeah,
So good
yeah.
post game. Tales of Arise, good game. Still stands as my game of the year currently. Um, and yeah, I mean the ending is good. No surprises in the final dungeon or the ending as far as the story goes.
Mm,
A very anime ending. Um, but
but
you know,
still enjoyable.
e- enjoyable, and it's the resolution you wanted and expected
Mm,
out of this game. I would say like this story did not have the tone or like the cast or anything where you would want it kind of like depressing or bad ending. Like
Right.
I was very happy to get the happy anime ending in this game. I did not want
Okay.
a, you know, anything other than that.
Hmm.
Basically, I don't want to say anything else, but
Yeah, sure. I get it. Nice, a nice ending. Nice, just nice happy ending. Hey, look.
nice
Sometimes you
happy
just need
ending.
that. Sometimes you just need it.
Yeah,
You just
you
need your
just needed
nice,
it.
nice anime happy ending where everybody's
Yeah.
a Disney ending. It's the Disney ending. Everything's
I'm not
fine.
I mean,
Everything's fine.
I'm not sure it's quite that. It's still like there's some things that are like left out in the open. Like the main conflict is resolved, but it's like
Where do you go from
it.
here?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, well, where do they go from here? That like we're still built in a world where there's been 300 years of like slavery and oppression, and like people generally don't like each other. So there's still kind of that hanging
Mhm.
over. But like obviously the major conflict
The
has
major
been
conflict. Yep.
resolved, and it's like okay, now the next step is like, all right, we need to get people to like each other
You got
again
to
and like
rebuild,
get them
or
to work together and rebuild.
yeah, or
So
something else happens. Yeah,
yeah.
something else happens. Be interesting. Be interesting. Um,
But like most Tales endings are like that, honestly, where like they resolve the major conflict, but then they don't really answer the sort of what if or like what
right.
next part of the ending. Like
Up to you to
the end,
figure what
like
you want.
yeah, the ending of Vesperia, for example, is like one of the worst with that, in my opinion. They just like, all right, we gotta defeat the Autophagos, the thing that's gonna swallow the world. So we're gonna destroy all Blastia to use the power of friendship to destroy the Autophagos, and that's just where it ends. Like they defeat the big villain, but it's like, well, our entire lives have been built on like using Bat Blastia for like barriers and technology and all that. And it's like, well, where do they go from there? I don't know. You figure it out. Like
You figure it out. You're smart. You figure it out. Like, but okay. But
So yeah,
okay.
they do tend to do that in Tales where like okay, they do the ending where they beat the big bad and they
Right.
resolve the major conflict of the story, but kind of like the what happens next part where it's like is kind of left hanging where it's like
Sure.
okay, we beat the big bad, there's no like impending catastrophe, but like there are a lot of problems in this world that still need working out.
Yeah,
Like
yeah. That's left to the open for a possible sequel, right? You just leave that open and go, oh,
except they never do sequels with the exception of Tales of Symphonia 2, but that game like wasn't even like it was a sequel in that it like used some of the same characters and had the same world, but the story had literally nothing to do with the story of the original game. So they just made up their own shit. So I don't know.
Zillia
Like
1 and 2.
yeah, 2 yeah, Xillia 2 yeah,
There was
that one had it as well.
yeah.
But
It's
still the
there.
story of Xillia 2 is still quite a lot different
Mhm.
than the first one. It doesn't really build on much from the first one again, other than having the same
There's some
characters. All
cast. There's some of the same cast there.
yeah, well, all of the same cast plus a few extra.
Except for your Luger, of course. Luger's
Yeah,
your
Luger's
main
new,
character.
and then you get Gaius and Muse on the team as well
Right.
in Xillia too.
Yep.
Um,
So there's some newbies, but some returning faces. But yeah,
but yeah,
the story takes a bit of a different.
yeah.
But yeah, well, cool. Yeah,
So yeah,
I,
I know you're involved with New World
I'm
and
doing all sorts of stuff. I,
Diablo and School, but I
Diablo
would
is my queue time game. That's my queue time game. I'm not even kidding. Anytime I hit
yeah, I
queue,
know.
it's Diablo. I don't I try not to. I actually don't do Diablo much if I'm being honest with you. Diablo, like I basically just finished the first like Baal run with my Necromancer, and it's a summoner
Mhm.
Necromancer, so it's like I don't have to. That's why it's my queue time game. So I'm not
Oh,
really that
you
like
don't even have to play the
much.
game.
Yeah, I just like don't even do much, and I haven't really put that much time into that game, so I can't really say I've done much with it. But it's like I don't know. Diablo 2 Resurrected's nice when you're like eating or you're just like not you're not trying to be proactive in your game. I can just sit there. Like now I can just fucking sit there in the Bale run and just soak the XP until I get
Hmm.
to I don't know what level I need to get to, but like probably like 40 or 45 to then go to Nightmare. But yeah, Diablo 2 is great to just sit there and eat or to do when I'm in queue. Um, yeah, currently grinding New World is my thing this week. Um, But at some point, I think I won't be grinding New World that much anymore, and I'll go back to Tales. But right now, they're just like I'm trying to figure out if I want to do PvP, basically. So,
Yeah.
um, but currently, I'm enjoying hanging out with Hectic Dog and just
Yeah.
playing. That was fun when we did the
That,
so
I mean that makes sense.
so yeah. Anyway, that's all I've been doing. I got to travel next week too, so I got to get whatever New World I can in now before I fall really far behind. I'll be gone for 4 days. That's going to definitely put me far behind
Yep.
other people. Other people will definitely be into Endgame. I imagine people will be into Endgame this weekend, judging from
Probably.
the current leveling. People will be near Endgame. Then Endgame levels, I should say, because again, people are going to hit 30s. Most people are going to hit 30s if they're playing consistently tonight. Um, and then I do think people will hit 50 this weekend. Somebody will. Some people will. But yeah, it's good. It's been good. If anybody is playing it and has Twitch Prime, by the way, you can sit in streams and you get some cool Twitch gear for free just by sitting there. You get free drops. I don't actually know if it's a Prime thing. I think you just get it without it. But there's also Prime drops for it. So I have my cool Twitch skin on. It's nice. It's all good.
Hmm.
So yeah. Anyway, um, any other stuff? Otherwise, we can end early. I'm cool with that.
Did you want to talk about upcoming releases a little bit?
Yeah,
I know you
sure.
mentioned. I know you
Yeah,
mentioned
there's
that.
there's a couple on my radar. The only ones on my radar right now are Far Cry 6, which is coming out next week. I think the 6th or 7th. Don't remember which. Um, Back for Blood is coming out the week after. Those are the two on my radar. I I can't say for sure I will be getting Far Cry 6 day one, though that typically is a short game. Far Cry 5 was really short for me. I think it was like honestly 20 hours or less. It was really short. So that's on my radar. Not sure if day one or wait till the holidays for a sale or something. Um, Back for Blood. Back for Blood, for those that don't know, is Left 4 Dead. Same people that made Left 4 Dead, they made this game, and that looks like it could be really. So those are the two on my radar for the next 2 weeks. I know there's more coming out, but those are on my radar for upcoming releases. Um, there was some stuff with Halo too. I saw some people playing more Halo, like Infinite stuff. I don't know if there was more like
Yeah, I think there was another like alpha
alpha.
or
Yeah,
whatever, a test weekend this past weekend, I want to
yeah, because I
say.
saw some people playing it, and it still looks like Halo. So no additional comments.
Yeah, it's still gonna be Halo.
But yeah, those are only two on my radar for
Okay.
for upcoming games. I know there's other stuff like there is other stuff like Metroid Dread's coming out at some point. I don't remember when. Um,
Middle of next month.
yeah, that sounds
Couple of
about right.
weeks,
Yeah, that
like
sounds about
2 weeks or so.
yeah. I just don't know of anything else that's really like short term. Like, oh, I'm really excited, looking forward to it type of game in the next month or two. Um,
Oh, next Friday. I always feel like for some reason I'm
is it
thinking
next Friday?
Metroid Dread is
Oh, it's the
like
8th. Okay,
the 15th, but it's the 8th,
it's the
not the
8th. Oh,
15th.
there you go. Well, I'm
Um,
gone that weekend anyway, so I won't be playing it right away. But yeah, those are I don't know. Far Cry 6, you kind of have to like that style of game, and obviously not everybody does, but it's a nice FPS game that little bit of explore, a little bit of open world to it. I liked Far Cry 5's open. It was fun. So hopefully it's more of that. Um, and Back for Blood's just gonna. I think it's just gonna be fun to play with the fellas if they all get it. If not,
well,
then that'll be a little bit sad.
if I know Ubisoft, they're not going to stray too far from the formula. So
No, Ubisoft's not. I hope I do hope it's more of that actually. That's a game that I liked that for. I really didn't want it to be more than that, to be honest, because it was only like 20 hours. So I don't give a shit. The problem is when they're
yeah,
like, yeah, here's an 80-hour game of the same. It's like Jesus Christ. Oh God. It's like okay, you're really pushing it there. Like that is a little bit too much of the same there. But 20 hours of that I think is totally fine. Just like mindless don't really care too much about the story. Just gonna shoot my guns ablazing stuff. That I'm okay with. That I'm more than okay with.
Yeah.
And the guy who plays the villain, the actor who plays the villain, fantastic, fantastic actor. So very excited for that. So that was my upcoming stuff. Um, yeah.
Um, yeah, for I guess
No,
for me,
please.
Astria Ascending came out today. I haven't gotten it yet. You actually like couldn't buy it until today. Like you couldn't pre-order this game, and I don't know why, but
Okay.
like you couldn't pre-order. You
uh,
could not pre-order this game.
okay.
I was looking like all week. I'm like, are they gonna let me buy this game? No, no, no. Okay, but it was finally available to buy and download today. It's actually pretty cheap as far as like games go. It's a 35 base price, but 10% off for the first week, so it's
Mm,
like 31. Um, I'm on the fence about it. The reviews it's gotten have been very middling. Like on Open Critic, I think it has like a high 60s Metascore, which isn't very good,
no, that's bad.
obviously.
That's bad. From that's Metacritic, right? You said Metacritic.
Open Critic, but it's the same.
Oh, but it's the same. Okay,
It's basically the same thing.
60.
It's like 68 or 69. It's like high
69. Nice.
60s. It's closer to 70. Let me look again. There are, but the reviews have been like so spread out. They're
What?
uh,
Who has reviewed it so far besides OpenCritic?
okay. It has a
But OpenCritic
67.
is an aggregator. It
It,
aggregates all.
yeah, it's an aggregator. Yeah. Um. Um. Yeah. So it's got 110, 19, and 285. So that's PlayStation Galaxy. But why though? I've never even heard of them. And COG Connected and 33 bits. COG Connected is actually the one that gave Tales of Arise a 6.
Mhm.
So I it's probably a different reviewer, but still strange. Um, and then like IGN Italy gives it a 6.3. Like a lot of like okay, Push Square gave it a 5, RPG Site 5, VG 247 gives it a 2 out of 5, so a 4.
Uh,
And like some 8s, some 7s.
what
Like
are
they're very
some of the
spread out.
descriptions though? Like, why did they give them? Because I, for me at least, um, I would say a 6 is a bad review. I would say that's like okay, you got to be like a hardcore, really interested in the genre or the like that kind of like that specific game or the developers releases to want to play it. Like 6 to me is not good. So I'm curious what they say because that's the one that's the
Um,
one we looked at. It like that kind of cool art style, turn
yeah,
based RPG, right?
yeah.
So
So from Push Square, it says Astro Ascending is a beautifully hand-drawn game with an old-school JRPG feel. It tries to keep the experience modern with some much-needed quality of life improvements, but annoying bugs hold it back. It's a bit of a shame that the story is fairly forgettable, but the fun combat system does help alleviate this to an extent. A very detailed job system, plenty of optional side content to get involved with. There's entertainment to be found here if you don't mind the grind, but as an overall role-playing adventure, Astro Ascending has clear flaws. They give that a 5.
out of
That
10,
description, yeah, 5 out of
that
10.
description is not a 5 out of 10 description.
Yeah, that description sounded like a 7 out of 10 to
That
me,
sounded like a
but
7.5. Yeah,
yeah.
I don't know why I gave it. It must have been like really shitty on the story or something. Like that's not a 5. Like
Um,
a 5 is like I
RP
had no fun.
RPG site. This is also a 5 out of 10. Astria Ascending is not a great JRPG. I would hesitate to label it a good one. In a year of winners, it's not a complete outlier, but it's no contemporary classic. Despite a few flirtations with intrigue, the story is generally vacant of anything compelling enough to stick around.
Mhm.
Poor writing compounds the problem, and unlikable characters can't overcome it. Gameplay ranges from strong to stale with just enough gumption and innovation to keep things lively pound for pound, and for all its pedigree, this is a disappointing experience I'm not inclined to recommend.
Yeah, that would be a 5. That seems like a 5 review. Did you buy the game already?
I have not bought it yet. No, I'm still kind of
How much is it?
35 base, 31.50 with the 10% discount.
Yeah. It's a Switch only game.
Switch and Steam.
Oh, it's Steam. Okay, wait for a Steam discount. That thing's gonna get discounted. That's gonna get discounted. I would just wait for a Steam discount. It's okay. Even if an aggregator is giving you under a 7, it's like you buy it on a discount for me. Unless I'm like a super fan. Like if I'm a super fan, I'll get it anyway. I don't give a fuck. But like, I can't. I mean, like, I don't know. It seems like there's stuff in there that I don't know if you like. Like, not having a good story is
Yeah, but
definitely
I
a
heard. I
challenge.
mean, I heard someone. I did see one review. They said it had a really good story, like that just takes a while to get going. So again, the reviews are really all over the place. A lot of them are middling, but there's a few people that really liked it, and a few people that also like hated it, or not hated it, but like 4 or 5. So I just don't like the reviews are really spread out. As I said, there's a 10 in there, and then there's like a 4 and a couple of 5s.
A
So
10.
I
My
just
God,
yeah, somebody
somebody
gave
really
it a 10.
fucking loved that game. Okay, I I don't know. If it's aggregated as a, I'm
67.
just gonna say a mediocre game. That sounds like a mediocre game. I would say it's a discount game. You buy it on discount. Steam, it's on Steam. It's going to get discounted sometime. It's a certain holiday sale will come up and it will get discounted. There's just no debate that it won't get discounted. So unless you're, well, I don't know, unless you're desperate to play something, I suppose. But
I mean, yeah, I don't really have anything to play for the next
sure,
week, but I could just wait for Metroid Dread to come out next week. I also do have an exam coming up. I think a week from next Tuesday, so like a week and a half or so. So yeah, I mean maybe I can hold up. I don't know.
I
I'm on the fence about it. I don't know if Ghost was. I think Ghost was planning on getting it. I don't know if he's changed his mind or if he's gotten it already. I'm not
it's
sure.
just like
But I mean, it is a JRPG, and I love
I
me some
know, but
JRPGs.
I
But
know, but I'm trying to help you with your thoughts, and my thoughts are even like again, unless you are a hardcore fan of the genre, hardcore fan of the developer, hardcore fan of the series.
I mean, I am a hardcore fan of the genre. I am a hardcore JRPG fan.
Yeah, so
Yes,
you got one of
for
them.
for sure.
I'm just telling you, a 7 is a mediocre video game in my mind. That is like, yeah,
I
it's
mean,
okay. If it was like an 8 or more, I'd say okay, yeah, that sounds like a good game. Sounds like you want to pick it up. A 7's mediocre. And even if there's 110, like there's also a bunch of stuff that's under. So like go in with expectations of this will be a mediocre game. And that way if
yeah,
it's better than that to you, you should be happy. But know that if it is in fact a mediocre game, your expectation was it was mediocre. So nothing's changed for you.
yeah. No, I'm definitely like, if I got it, I wouldn't be going in with any
Right.
super high expectations. Where I'm like, yeah, this might be fun, but it's gonna have some rough edges. The story, well, story is very subjective. I tend to like JRPG stories, but yeah, they don't always,
They
they can
don't
fall
always
flat.
resonate with people. They're not
Yeah,
always resonating with people. There are
story
certain parts of it.
story is very subjective. So
Right.
yeah, it
Yeah.
might not go anywhere.
But
Um,
like if you feel bored and you want to get something, I mean it's an option. It's an option. There's nothing wrong with it. Just telling you. Okay.
yeah.
But if you're
So
super
yeah,
bored to play something, yeah, I mean, sure, why not? You could also you could try Chrono Trigger.
mm,
Now we know that's not
true.
a mediocre. And if somebody says it's a mediocre game, well, there's no hope for them anymore. Um, that is also an option, and I'm sure on Steam it's like $10. So that's also an
Yeah,
option if you're bored. And that is a 25-hour game.
yeah, that's
So
about what I've heard that Astria Ascending is as well. It's not super long.
so there
It's
you
like
go.
25 to 30.
Yeah, I think the art style in Astro Ascending looks good. That's a
Yeah,
good
I don't.
art style.
I haven't seen anyone say that they didn't like the way the game looked,
Yeah,
but
looks nice.
you know,
So I mean, you do you, but 7 sounds mediocre, so keep your expectations there.
Yeah, I mean, my expectations aren't going to be super high going into it if I do get it. I'm still, yeah, I don't know.
Well,
I also feel like I don't even know if I want to like jump into something again after like going so hard on Tails for a few weeks. Like maybe I just like I don't know, chill out and take a break for a little bit.
you could.
Um,
It's always an option. But I don't know. I don't know. There like there's just like whenever it's like how, gosh, I've never had like a situation with like dead air game. You should jump into Pokemon Oreos. Oh my god, Bree for the past week has been just like, check out these Pokemon Oreos I found at Walmart. Look at these Pokemon Oreos, Pokemon Oreos. And you know what? The thing is, before she was talking about Pokemon Oreos, there were people selling the Pokemon Oreos on streams. I've seen it. I'm like, okay. Like, there's being a collector, and like when you're collecting Pokemon Oreos, I just gotta be like, okay, I get it. The cards are cool, really pretty, they're awesome. These are Oreos. Go walk to Target. Go look. They're literally $3 there, I'm sure. Go get them at Target. Go to Walmart. It's just that one that like kind of pushed my like, okay, really? We're selling the Pokemon Oreos here on this stream. Come on. That's like a little too much for me there. It, if you let it mold, it'll be shiny. That is
got
disgusting.
admit.
Please don't. That is gross. You ever seen moldy soda before? I have. It's not
Soda?
pretty. Yes, 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 yes. I've seen molded soda. It's gross.
Yeah, that
It
sounds pretty
it is
gross.
gross. I've seen it. It's gross. Um,
Chrono Trigger's there's a TGS sale going on right now. Chrono Trigger's actually half off, 750 on Steam.
Yo, what a deal! What a deal for the consensus number 2 game of all time.
Mm, I don't know about that, but you know,
Excuse me? Excuse me.
I don't know about consensus.
For the no debate number 2 game of all time.
Oh yeah, there.
Zero
Yeah, you got it.
debate.
Yeah, you got it. No debate.
For the illustrious number 1 game of all time is that
Dragon
of
Emperor
a
games.
Zelda Ocarina of Time. Can't be beaten. Unstoppable Zelda roll. Ocarina
Yeah,
of Time, the unstoppable.
I thought you meant Breath of the Wild.
No, Breath of the Wild. No, no, it's not. No, I don't know if anybody would actually say that. They'd be like, yeah, no, Breath of the Wild was better than Ocarina of Time when better. I don't think anybody said that.
I saw. I think so. I think IGN did a poll recent, like a
Mm.
tournament or whatever, poll best game of all time. Apparently, God of War 2018 won best game of all time.
Well, there you go. Cool. Well, hey,
I'm surprised. I'm surprised
what was
Breath of
on
the
the
Wild.
poll?
I don't remember. I don't remember. I
Well,
don't know.
clearly God of War was, but I'm sure Ocarina of Time was on it somewhere.
Maybe
Everybody.
it was a more recent game. I think it felt like it was a more recent game thing. Maybe
Oh, if it
Maybe
was a more
saying
recent
that.
game, that makes sense then. Like people really fucking loved God of War 2018, so
I'm sure Breath of the Wild was on it.
oh,
I'm
of
surprised
course,
that didn't.
oh, of
I'm
course,
sure. I'm surprised that didn't win.
you'll like Breath of the Wild is just everybody. Well, I shouldn't say everybody. Most people really, really, really think that is like one of the better games made in the last, I don't know, X years. Define you can
10,
define X
10,
as
at,
like 10,
10
I
at
guess.
least.
10 at least. They're like Breath of the Wild.
And
It's
then
amazing.
you've got your two grumpy old men here going like, yeah, it was okay.
I was like, yeah, it was fine. It was fine. I mean, it was fine. I just it, some people found it to be more memorable than I did. That is all I'm gonna say. I think there were some funny moments in the game. I will say the game had like some funny moments when like you played it. There's like some funny stuff that happened because I remember playing it. I remember stream. I think I streamed it sometimes. There's like funny stream moments, but just the fact that I could just walk past the whole dungeon by taking Rivali's scale up. and then going into the dungeon, beating the boss there with absolutely no trouble. I did have the Master Sword and I was pretty well equipped out. And then just like the pig fight just kind of pissed me off. The giant pig fight kind of just pissed me off. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like this isn't okay. This is just like a cutscene, but I actually am doing some stuff, but nothing
Cutscene,
matters.
cutscene final boss.
Cutscene final boss. That's just like okay, cool. Well, that was it. That I think that's why I just didn't like it as much, is because the ending just did not really do it for me, or the bosses of of those like beast dungeons. That those bosses kind of suck.
The dungeons in general, along with the
Yeah,
bosses, kind of
they kind of
suck.
suck. So really, it was just about running around, and the puzzles and the shrines were great. But yeah, I just didn't find it as memorable as some other folk. That's how it is. Now, King of Dragons, on the other hand, is an
Mm-hmm.
incredibly
Yeah,
memorable experience. I
King
can
of Dragons.
name almost every boss of that game. I'm sure. I'm sure I can name
Yeah,
almost all of them.
because you've played it a
Orc
hundred
King,
thousand
Orc
times.
King, can't forget Orc King. Minotaur, legendary. What about the great spiders? The spiders, and then the tree that says "Thanks, buddy." Like,
Thanks,
come
buddy.
on now. Thanks, buddy is great. Thanks, buddy is great. The Cyclops. Mm-hmm. A lot of great villains in that game. Dragon Rider, unnamed Dragon Rider, fantastic.
Mhm.
I love my bosses that don't have names. They just their names are what are like aspects of themselves or the mount they are using. Horse Rider, Black Knight, just great, so perfect. Miss those times. Simple days.
I mean, yeah, our old arcade games,
Dude, old
basically.
arcade
It's
games is simple. It's a simpler time. It was a simpler time. Now you got these like
like
crazy named
story,
villains and shit.
story. What's that?
Fuck
We don't need
story.
that.
Look at the Orc King. Look at him. He's coming from his cave. He's got gold.
Is he taking more quarters from our players? Okay, good.
Orc King should never take a quarter from a player. Or if Orc King takes a quarter from you, you probably need to rethink your arcade skills. Or Orc King will never take a quarter from you. Oh my god.
I mean,
The Hydra? Hydra?
I remember when I played that game co-op with you at Myriathon.
That was so fun.
I mean, you make it look really easy. I was really bad at that game
That
because
game
I
was
had
so
never played it. Never played it
because I've played
before.
it a bajillion times. I've
No.
played it since I was a kid. That was like one of the first games I got at a rental store. Yeah, for those of you that are under the age of 24, a rental store was a place
Yeah, a
where
blockbuster.
you went to rent a video or a video game. Yeah, I know, it's crazy, right? So yeah, dude, you could buy video games at the rental store. So I bought King of Dragons because the art on the cover was so cool. Dragon breathing fire. That's how you knew. That's how you knew games were good. Is you had to look at the art of the cover because there were no game reviews, or like I guess there was like Nintendo Power or something. But you just like looked at the cover and you're like, is it cool? Okay, I'm buying it. It was a
Block,
crapshoot.
Blockbuster was my favorite place. When I was a kid, there was a Blockbuster like 3 blocks away from my house or something. I could just walk to it.
You just
I
want to
love
rent a video
Blockbuster.
game.
Yeah.
It's the shit. Wow, Blockbuster. Oh my god. Yeah, get out of here, you whippersnapper. God, get out of here. Everybody's like, "What's that?" I'm like waiting for the day when I say Blockbuster to somebody, and they go, "What's that?" So I can slap them right in the face and go,
I mean,
"Stop it! I'm not
I'm
that old."
sure there are people on the internet that you could find that would say that. Like, what the hell's Blockbuster?
And I would slap them and be like, "I'm not that old. Shut up. Not that old. Leave me alone." Just like, come on, I'm not that old. Like you've seen a video. Like there is a Blockbuster still. There's one Blockbuster left.
Oh, there is actually
Yes,
one left.
it's like the famous one Blockbuster in like
Okay.
I don't remember Oregon or something. There is one Blockbuster that exists, and it's like it has its complete own system, and it is exactly how you picture a Blockbuster. It is basically a museum. It is a museum right now. You could go there. I think it's like actually a tourist attraction now. The last remaining Blockbuster. I think it's Oregon. I'd have to look at that. That is a tourist attraction. So, and you can still rent movies there. It has the Blockbuster system still. Like they have all the system. It's fucking cool.
Yeah, and the late fees.
Hey, if they have late fees, I'd be like, fuck, yes, please. Oh my god, finally. I feel like I'm 10 again. Let's go. Those late fees were so funny. I think once those video stores started going down the tubes, I had like videos that were just completely like overdue, like way too long. You just kept them at that point. It's like you're already going out of business. I'm keeping this.
Yep.
So, oh man, video stores, what a dream! What a dream! Old video stores are
Yep. No, I spent a lot of time at at that Blockbuster when I was a
just
kid.
looking, dude. That's what you do. Actually, you literally just go there to look.
Looking and just like hanging out. Like it was like on my way home from school too, so I'd like walk home with friends and we would just like hang out at
Oh my god,
Blockbuster.
your place was the
Literally just
blockbuster. That's crazy.
at Blockbuster.
That's a luxury, dude. I did not have that kind of luxury. We had to drive everywhere, so we would go to the Hollywood video store, and we would go there because we just like look around. We're like, I kind of want to watch a movie. Let's go to the video store. So we just go to video stores. Now you go down the interstate and you see Love's Adult Video Store. You know which video store I miss? There was an adult video store that I was driving down. My dad and I used to drive down the street all the time, and they had this sign on it, and the sign said "Ladies Welcome." And every time we saw it, we were like, you know what? That's a great sign. Just ladies welcome. Come on in. Ladies welcome. Just oh my gosh. But yeah, whenever you went to the video store, you just looked around. It was like it was our
Yeah.
window shopping. Just look like, oh, this movie looks good. Rent it. So, man,
Yeah.
what a
Or
what a dream.
sometimes though you would go and you were looking for a specific movie or game and it would be rented out and you'd be pissed.
And you'd be like, fuck, damn it.
Then you'd ask them at the front, did someone drop that off already? Do you have it? Do you have it back
You
there? You
got it?
just didn't
They're
checking
like,
it back.
no.
Like, when is it coming back though? When are they expected to bring it back?
3 days from now. Okay.
Damn it.
Son of
Can,
a
can you hold it for me when it comes back?
They're like, I mean, probably not. I don't think they did. Did they ever hold stuff? I don't think so. I don't know if they did.
Mm,
I don't know. It was crazy. It was so crazy. Now,
I think there were times when I would call like, all right, I'm coming right now, but like just in case someone rents it before I get there, like hold it
hold
for
that
me.
shit for me.
Yeah, I'll
You better hold
hold
that
that.
shit for me.
You better hold that
And
shit
they're
for
like,
me.
all right, jeez. This kid, who was that? This kid just told me to hold a video game. He's coming right now. It's like, better hold. Hey, do you have the first Kingdom Hearts right now? I think we're getting it in right now. Actually, we have one copy right now. Okay, I'm coming on over there. Don't rent it out to anybody else. We don't really do reservations here. No. Hold it now. I'll be
You
there in
don't
five
understand.
minutes.
You don't understand. I'm coming. I'm coming right
I'm
now.
coming over there. And if that game isn't there, your ass is mine. And you hang up.
Your ass is
You're
grass.
fucking dead. It's just like shit. He really wants that Kingdom Hearts rental. Holy God. It's like I better be able to play with my favorite Disney princesses and Donald and Goofy by tonight. And if
Funny
I'm
story.
not, it's on you.
Funny story. I don't remember exactly when I played it, but I did not play Kingdom Hearts when it came out. My brother actually played it before I did
I'm sure
because
you probably had the same reaction I did. This is the
yeah,
reaction I had. Ew, kids game, gross.
yeah, exactly. We were like that game count like 2001, I think. So we were like 11. I was like
Right.
11, and I was in the phase when you grow up as a kid, like, oh, I'm a big kid now. I'm too big for that.
Yeah.
I'm too grown up for that kiddie Disney shit. I ain't playing
Right.
that game. That's garbage. That's for kids, dude. I ain't
Yeah,
playing that. It's for kids.
I'm with you, dude. That's literally my reaction when I saw somebody playing. They're like, no, this game's really good. I'm like, it's a fucking kids game. Look at all this Disney characters. Get out of
It's
here.
garbage.
Look at
I
me.
had the
I'm
same
big.
reaction. I had the same reaction to like SpongeBob too. By the way,
Oh,
like
really?
I never got into SpongeBob because I was like, oh yeah, no, that's a kid
So
show.
yeah,
That's not bullshit. I'm not watching. That.
that's what
That's some
happens.
garbage. Like
That's what happens when you're a turd sandwich kid. You
yeah,
make poor decisions in life. You make really poor decisions, and you're just like, Kingdom
yeah,
Hearts. It's a kids game. Look at
yeah.
these Disney Mickey Mouse. I'm not playing that.
My brother played it at his friend's house. He's like, nah, the game's fun. Like you should play it. I was like, nah, that's shit for kids. I'm playing
That's
that.
you just said right this way. That's for kids, you idiot. What are you talking about? You're lying to me. And then you play it and you're like, what? This is fun. That's the reaction we had when we were younger
Yep.
because we're dumbasses. That's the problem when you're a kid. You're a dumbass and you
Yeah,
don't
you
know
are.
it. You're
You think you're
you're an
smart. You think you're
idiot.
smarter than everyone. You think you're smarter than your parents,
You think
your
you're
older,
yeah.
your siblings. You're an idiot.
You're
You
just
know
an
nothing.
idiot.
You know nothing, Jon Snow.
It's like you're a fucking idiot. Like get out of here. Like that one kid who said I was a noob at Fortnite. It's like you're an idiot,
Mhm.
kid. Get out of my face. Why are you calling me a noob at Fort? He's like, you play Fortnite? No, you're a noob. I still have not. It's just like it never is gonna leave me. That's like one of those experiences that'll never leave my mind because it's just like it blew me away. It's like wow, this is where we're at, kids. As a kid, I would never freaking do that to somebody, but this kid just like now this is where we are now. Just walking up to people, going, "Hey, you play Fortnite?" I'm an adult, and I say no. And they're like, "Wow, you're such a noob." I'm like, "I'm an adult." Like, what? What
I
is
always like.
this?
Obviously, I used it as a kid as well, like when I played WoW. But like
Right? You're a
by
kid.
definition, by definition, everyone is a noob at some point. Like when you,
True.
I've never played the game before. By definition, I'm a noob.
True.
If you want me to not be a noob, I have to be a noob
You
at
have
some
to
point
let
to
you have to let
actually
me
play.
play. You have to
Like
let me play.
you have to let me. It's such like gating. It's this stupid gating. It's like, oh, you're a noob, so I'm not gonna help you. It's like, but this is when I need help. I'm a
But I
noob.
need your
Like
help.
I
No,
need
you're
I need
just you're
help
just
because
bad at
I'm
this. It's like
I'm
okay,
bad. It's like
okay, I am. So what? So what? I think I've actually said that to people before. They're just like, "You are so bad." I'm like, "Yes, I am. Can you explain it to me?" And the reaction is always priceless. They're like, "What?" It's like they expected me to say like, "You're bad too" or something. And that's what
no,
happens
yeah,
is people just expect toxicity. Turn.
yeah.
And when you don't give it to them, they're like, "What?"
Yes, you're correct. I am
Yeah, you're
bad. Can
right.
you
I'm
help me?
terrible at this
Can you
video
help me,
game. Please explain to me what is going on.
Sensei? Please help me with your
I don't get it.
omnipotent
Please
wisdom,
explain. I don't.
with your infinite wisdom.
I didn't know that. I didn't actually know that. Sorry. That's also another one. People like think you're omniscient all the time about things, and I'm not, obviously. So I'm like, oh, I didn't know that, and they're like, what? Like, yeah, I did. I don't fucking know. I'm not. I don't like read everything in the lore of these universes. I'm not completely all knowing. Well, you should know this. Like, oh, sorry, I don't know. That's not where my mind is going. My mind is focused on Booba. I'm sorry. I got sometimes I get focused on Booba,
Booba.
and we animate waifus and things like that,
Hmm. Yeah,
and occasionally exploring massive worlds with my bow and arrow and rapier, and just sort of
and
chopping down
chopping down
trees.
trees.
And I just want to chop
Yeah,
down a tree. So I yeah, it's a journey. Crazy. Anyway, so yeah, okay.
yeah,
Well, I think we're good for today.
yeah.
Next week, by the way, as I said, I'm traveling, so um, we're not gonna
Radar.
have a
Radar.
podcast.
Okay, we're dark next week.
we're going silent next week, but back the week after. Um, I'm going to
TGS is
Seattle.
this. TGS is this weekend actually. So no, whatever.
Okay.
That's fine. I
Um,
don't know.
I am going to Seattle next week. That should be fun. Going with Kate to Seattle. We're gonna explore. I've actually never been there, so it should be kind of fun.
I've also never. Well, I might have flown in there once. I've
Yeah,
never
see, that's what
actually
everybody says. Like,
been
oh
to.
no, I
I've never
flew in.
been to Seattle though.
But Seattle has an aquarium, so I'm going.
Mm.
Seattle Aquarium. That's why we're going. Actually, I told Kate, hey, let's go to Seattle. Okay, I've never been there. Yeah, there's an aquarium there. That's what I say to her too. And
Mhm.
when I tell her places to travel, like I literally said, hey, Kate, we could go to Idaho. A lot of outdoorsy stuff. That we could go hiking. There's an aquarium. There's a lot of good stuff to do. That's how I phrase all my travel.
That's the that's the hook is the aquarium.
That's literally how I hook myself. It's like, oh, let's go to Oregon. Hey, but there's like we could drive to Oregon. Yeah, and there's like this aquarium off the beaten path. If we go to the near the ocean, there's an aquarium. So that's another reason why we came to LA. Aquarium, and that was a great
Mm.
aquarium. That was great. The aquarium of the Pacific was fantastic. Really nice little place if you ever near LA. Really cool place. Would highly recommend for any fish
I
lovers
think
out
I think Megan wants to go there, so I'll
That is
probably
a
go there.
fantastic place to go.
She's yeah.
It is very fun. Go outside. There's an aviary with the birds. Get some of the bird food. Get some of
I
the bird
don't want
food.
to do that.
You don't
I
want to
don't
do
want to do
really? You
that.
don't want to do that?
No.
Why? What's wrong with the bird?
I
What's wrong
don't.
with the birds? You don't like
I
birds?
don't want to get. I don't want to get shit on by a bird, dude.
It's all part of the experience.
Nope.
Okay?
Not part of my
If
experience.
you don't go to the aquarium of the Pacific and if you go there and don't have shit on your shirt, I think you will fail the experience.
You failed. You
I think that's
failed the
actually on their
aquarium.
billboard too. They're like, "Hey, if you didn't get shit on, you're probably not having fun out here." And everybody is like, okay, to be fair, I only got a little bit of poop on my arm, but that one guy that got shit all over the shirt, that was hilarious. It's part of the experience. It's part of it's like when you go to the theme park. You got to go on a roller coaster. It's the same thing. Same thing. You got to get a bird to crap on you. It's the
I'm
same.
not buying that, but okay.
Okay. Well, you should. It is really fun. It's a cool place to go. The fishies are great, and I'm telling you, I hope Megan asks you to get the bird food stuff. I hope she does that. I hope so. I hope she does. I'll actually message her, make sure that she does that. Say,
Don't
hey, make sure that
don't
Spoon gets the bird food.
don't
The
don't
nectar.
do
It's
it.
the nectar.
I hate you.
Just get the nectar. Tell him to wear pants too. He doesn't want to get shit on his leg, so wear pants.
Well, it'll be winter, so I'll be wearing
Oh yeah,
pants.
definitely wear pants and bring some extra napkins. You know, clean it off. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. They've got soap and water out there. You'll be fine. So anyway, but yeah, aquariums are great. They're fun. I hope you enjoy it too. It is a fun experience. Cool. Any other stuff?
Nope.
Okay. Well, yeah, that's it for the podcast today. We will be back in a couple weeks, and if you like hanging out with us, hit the follow button on Twitch. If you really like us, in some time when they roll out the boost feature, go ahead and boost our channel. Why not? Put like $1. It's only $1, maybe 50. I mean, you choose. You choose. No pressure. You choose. Or you could check out the YouTube, like our videos, subscribe, comment on them, hang out, let us know how we're doing. Tell us if you hate the videos. Tell us if you don't care. That's always nice to know actually, because then we know we should do something different. That's always nice. Tell us if you're bored. I like to know when people are bored, so I don't do the same goddamn thing over and over again. Otherwise, we'll never change. So you should let us know if we should be doing other stuff. That would actually be appreciated. I'm kind of being funny, but at the same time I'm being serious. Like if you let us know like other stuff that we should be doing, we would appreciate that. I think we would. Because then we can know, oh wait, people don't want to hear this anymore. We'll stop talking about it. Otherwise, like for example, like some people don't like when we talk about Genshin. Tell us to stop talking about it. Stop talking about it. Sure.
We already know Try hates when we
We
talk
already
about
do,
Genshin.
but like, if everybody's like, look, we don't fucking like Genshin, stop talking about it. Then yeah, okay, we'll stop. Sorry. We're sorry. We'll stop. We'll focus on other things then. So yeah, I think that's
Unless you tell me to stop talking about JRPGs, I'm not gonna do
Oh
that.
no,
That's what I play it.
I think if somebody ever said, please stop talking about JRPGs, they would just be banned.
My reaction would just be, I don't think I'd ban. I'd just be like, no, I'm gonna talk about JRPGs because that's mostly what I play. So that's what I'm gonna talk about.
My reaction would just be like, no.
I think you're in the wrong. I think you're in the wrong place, buddy. Like,
can you please, like, you probably just shouldn't be here. Like, we're gonna talk about it. It's just like that's how it goes. Like, it's part of the gaming community. Like, of course we're gonna talk about it. That's the saying. We talk about all games except for shooters. Okay, but it's not a big deal.
we touch most like we talk about shooters occasionally. I don't play them very often. But like,
I think the only games we don't talk about are like racing games. We don't talk about
yeah,
racing games ever.
we meant like when Forza gets announced, we mention it, but I don't
Yeah,
have
of
much to
course.
say
Yeah,
about it.
I mean, of course. But that was like part of
Or
the
like,
conversation.
okay, I'd talk about Mario Kart if there was a new Mario Kart though.
Yeah, so that I mean, like, of course we talk about that. Like, of course we would. Like, we touch on everything. Anyway, we'll see you guys in a couple weeks. We'll be back, and I only talk about sports games. That's actually a true statement. But that's the only reason. That's the only way you can. You can't seriously talk about a sports game anymore. It's a joke. There's
I
no
I I,
possible way.
I think MLB The Show is like moderately
Yes,
better and like
okay. I yes,
moderately more playable than the
yes.
other ones, but it's
I
still got
I
some bullshit in it.
I
So
retract my statement. MLB The Show was actually super fun. I really enjoyed MLB The Show. I wasn't sure what I expected. Like I just expected to have just memes, but it was fun. It was legit fun. And FIFA, when you play the single player, is really fun. Other than that, fuck all of the others.
Madden's garbage.
Madden is ass. Madden is ass. Madden is literally getting shit on by a bird. Like that is Madden. That is the Madden experience. Like you're always being shit on by a bird, and there's no escaping it. That's Madden for you. I saw more. Everybody, seriously though, before we go look up Madden bug videos. There's so many of them. I saw a bug recently where the players they were like half loaded in, so like half their bodies were loaded in. Like it was weird. It was like something I saw from like 2001 PlayStation 1 game or something. It was creepy. And that's Madden for you. That's the game. So, okay. We're going to go. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. And we'll see you in a couple weeks. Please be sure to check out all of our stuff. Thank you. Have a good
Night,
rest of your night.
everybody.